So today, I thought we'd talk about what is your life purpose. And for me, it's a real simple thing. Your only purpose is to create. From the time you were born, your purpose was to create a greater and greater life experience. With every new experience, you have the opportunity to build on it. You have the opportunity to change it. You have the opportunity to continue building. But your purpose is to create. Why? Because life is always expressing through us. When we come to understand that there is this infinite, this spirit, this universal mind, this divine intelligence, this cosmic consciousness, and it created everything out of itself, and that its nature is to create. It is constantly creating. It is infinite. So there's infinite creating happening. Well, as that expression of it, it created you, it created me, it created everyone unique. And the DNA of it is the same DNA as us. And so our DNA is to create, just like that which birthed us. And because that's our natural DNA, and that we're never separated from the infinite, it is expressing itself through us. And life, the infinite, is always seeking to express more of itself. Do you get that? Life is always seeking to express more of itself as it is infinite. And that's what quantum physics talks about. They say, what is the quantum field? The quantum field is where all possibilities, infinite possibilities exist. They exist all at the same time, everywhere present, and our job is to focus. And where we focus, we create the experience. But focus doesn't mean just shine the light there. It means to shine and hold the light there. And what does that mean? It means to build a belief. When you build a belief where all of your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your feelings are aligned toward a specific result, and you hold it there persistently and consistently, consciously and unconsciously, that is shining the light into the quantum field. And then wherever you are shining that light, it becomes your reality. It becomes your life experience. And the beauty of life is you are free to move where you shine that light. But the only way you can move where you shine that light is to build a new belief. Without a new belief, your light will continue to shine where it is. And when it does that, you will keep living that same experience over and over and over again. The key thing that I've learned is that life is never stagnant. And when you become stagnant, it's not a good thing. Think about water. Water, in order to be alive, to sustain life, must be moving. There must be circulation. That's why if you buy a fish tank, the water is being circulated. It is not left there not circulating. Because what happens when it's stagnant, all sorts of things happen and life cannot live in it. Life is always moving forward. Life is always seeking to express a greater and greater creativity in itself. The key thing to understand about being stagnant is once we cease to find creative outlets for life to flow in and through us, we stop the natural flow of life and we begin to fall apart mentally, emotionally, and physically. This is a really big statement, because think about it. Once we cease to find the creative outlets for life to express through us, we block the flow of life, because life is always seeking to expand, and we start the process of decay. We fall apart mentally, emotionally, and physically. So many people are sitting out there depressed. They're depressed because they've stopped creating. They have no hope about creating a meaningful life. Most likely that's because they're trying to live up to other people's expectations. Maybe it's their mothers, their fathers, schools, societies, religions, whatever it is. But you've got to find how do you want to choose to use your creative juices? Would it be if you are a social media person, maybe it is to develop the type of social media presence where you influence people, or you bring them things that they want to experience, and it lifts your heart doing so. And you can make money doing that. That's a possibility, because people pay for what juices them. But if you're creating whatever type of creation, you're going to be mentally stable, emotionally stable, and physically stable. But when we stop, we fall apart. What's interesting is I don't know all the statistics, but I do know one, because my father was a fireman. And what happens with most firemen is that when they retire, within 5 years, they're dead. Why? They no longer have purpose. What I found from my dad is my dad retired from being a fireman of 25 years at the age of 54. But then my dad moved to Maui with my mom, and he became a head maintenance guy at a condominium complex in Maui. And then he did that for a while. Then he went and worked in a picture frame shop, creating picture frames for all this magnificent art that was being produced and sold on the island. It wasn't until my dad quit doing something that his health and his mental state deteriorated. Because for him, he was no longer using his gifts to create. And he fell apart. And life wasn't good. And he fell apart more and more. He drank more and more. Addictions, whether it's alcohol, drugs, food, you name the shopping, you name the addiction. Gaming, you name the addiction. It's because we're not creative. We're trying to run from a natural tendency that's built into us to be creative beings. You see, when we stop creating, this is creative constipation, and it affects every area of our being. And the only way to get unconstipated is to begin to create again, to find that thing that juices you. And you may not find the ultimate one, but find something that you can get excited about. And when you get excited about it, take a step in the direction, then take another step and another step. Creativity is a step-by-step basis. Think about the person writing an opera. They're writing it one note at a time, one word at a time. An artist, it's one stroke of the pen, one stroke of the paintbrush at a time. It's a process. And the creative process is one that is never ending. When we stop creating, we end our lives. You look at all the great masters. As long as they were creating, they were living the most magnificent and beautiful life. It's only when we embrace our creative nature and we use our creative powers that we can return to experiencing the natural flow of life. Remember, you were born to create. You were given the same creative powers of the universe, of God, of the infinite. That power is the ability to use your mind to create a new belief. And when you become creative, you naturally fall in alignment with the infinite creativity. You're in alignment with all that is. You are in the flow of life. And when you are in the flow of life, life will be the most magnificent, beautiful, wonderful experience you have even yet to imagine. You are a creator. Embrace it, become it, use it, and create your most magnificent life.